Oh, jeez, that's an arc blade. Die! Come on. Come on. Come on, poke your head out. Come on. Get wrecked, bitch. Oh, sh... Aww. Howdy everyone, this is your buddy BP, and I'm here today to discuss the upcoming 2.0 patch that will hit Destiny in September with the release of the Taken King DLC. And it's kind of a big deal because it's about weapon rebalancing. Destiny players, myself included, have been talking about this for a while, and Bungie plans to deliver. But the question is, are these changes for the better? Will they solve the problem of high-range shotguns and exotic hand cannons being everywhere? Well, let's find out. Let's not waste any time and go right into the official patch notes. First off, auto rifles. Auto rifles have been kind of collecting dust ever since Bungie had nerfed them, but the new notes seem to suggest that they could be poised for a rebound. The changes include an increase to the base damage and a boost of damage of about 10% against AI combatants. In addition to this, the damage falloff will start a lot closer than before to emphasize their importance as a medium-range weapon, and there'll be a small reduction in base stability to make it a little harder to land repeated precision hits. I say this change is fair. Back in the day, you could peg people from outrageous distances with the Suros, and it was kind of out of control. The auto rifle nerf, it kind of fixed that, but it did so at the expense of effectively eliminating auto rifles from the PvP scene almost entirely. The new buff works to restore auto rifles to some of their previous glory, while being cautious enough to prevent them from being too effective from outside their intended range. I look forward to seeing how well this buff works. In addition to this, two other exotic auto rifles are getting some well-earned buffs, Hardlight and Necro Chasm. Hardlight's base stability is going to get increased from 65 to 80, and they're increasing the bounce count for Hardlight projectiles. In addition to this, they're going to change it so that the projectiles fired by this weapon are not going to be affected by damage falloff. I'd say this sounds like a step in the right direction. Hardlight has been in need for a buff for a while now. It's kind of been an underwhelming weapon with an interesting ability, but that's been about it. Now it seems like it's worthy of use. I'm not sure if I'd pick one up for a PvP. Auto rifles haven't been my style for a while now, but I am definitely interested to see how well this works in a PvP setting. Necro Chasm 2 is getting a boost. Its base stability is being bumped up to 60, it was at 40, and it's getting a boost to magazine size. In addition to this, the Curse Springer perk will now proc on every single precision kill. In addition to this, the Curse Springer explosion will also do increased damage over a wider area. At long last, it seems like Necro Chasm is finally becoming a weapon worthy of the huge grind that has to be put in to get it. At the moment, it's kind of just a huge hunk of disappointment, but these new buffs sound very promising, especially considered the overall general buff that's being given to auto rifles. I definitely would like to see how well this weapon performs in a PvE setting with arc burn on. It does sound like a lot of fun now to use. Moving on to my favorite PvP weapon type, pulse rifles. Bungie says that they feel that pulse rifles are currently in a good place, so the only changes they have to them are minor. Medium rate of fire pulse rifles will have a damage reduction of about 2.5%, pretty small. There will also be a small reduction in the base stability of pulse rifles, making it just a little bit more challenging to land repeated precision hits with them. They will also be increasing the magazine size on all pulse rifles across the board. Red Death users may notice a slight change in performance with their weapon, as a result of this, but I imagine that pulse rifle users across the board aren't going to notice this too much. It seems to me that pulse rifles in general are mostly emerging from this unscathed. If anything, they're doing better now because of the magazine increased size. The story is mostly the same for scout rifle users. Scout rifles are receiving an increase in base damage for medium to high rate of fire weapons, though this isn't supposed to affect the time to kill in PvP at all, according to Bungie. Scout rifles can also expect an increase in magazine size across the board, and they can expect a reduction in final accuracy when firing from the hip. You can also expect a boost of damage of about 5% against AI combatants. Again, I don't see scout rifle users seeing that big of a change as a result of this, unless you're the kind of guy who likes using Vision of Confluence by firing it from the hip all the time. I really don't think you're going to see much of a change. If anything, you emerge from this with a buff with the increased magazine size. So yeah, go scout rifles. It is a different story for hand cannon users, however, and if you are a hand cannon user, you might want to sit down for this because this is going to be brutal. Bungie will be nerfing the damage fall off so that it occurs closer in order to limit the long range lethality. They will also be introducing a small reduction in ADS accuracy to also mitigate this long range lethality. In addition to this, they will be reducing the final accuracy when firing from the hip. Suck it, last word users. They will be reducing the magazine size across the base, and they will be reducing the optics for all hand cannons. Ouch. On top of all of this, all 3 exotic hand cannons are going to be receiving their own individual nerfs. The last word can expect a reduction in range and stability, as well as a reduction in its effective range when aiming down the sights. It will, however, receive an increase in accuracy and precision damage aim assist scale when you fire it from the hip. The notorious Thorn can expect a reduced base damage to its Mark of the Devourer damage over time ability to about 1/3 of what it was. On the other hand, they're allowing the damage over time to stack up to 5 times across multiple landed projectiles, which technically, when you do the math, is actually a buff to this weapon, but it does make it so that players have to work harder in order to get that increased damage. Hawkmoon can also expect to be rebalanced in anticipation for its release on the Xbox. For starters, you can expect 2 more rounds in the magazine when you unlock holding aces, and the damage bonus will be reduced by about 3%. In addition to this, they will be changing it so that no more than 2 damage bonuses will proc on the same round at any one time. This is to prevent Hawkmoon doing that really annoying thing where it would on occasion one-hit kill a player on the body at full health. This is all a lot to take in, but the short of it seems to be that Bungie is looking to dramatically reduce the presence of exotic hand cannons in the Crucible, while at the same time making sure that they don't completely neuter them. These changes seem to suggest to me that Bungie are being very careful to make sure that they don't do to hand cannons what they did to auto rifles by nerfing them so hard that they remove them from the game entirely. So it's hard to say how effective this will be, but judging from what I'm looking here, I imagine we can all expect a reduction in presence of exotic hand cannons in future Destiny games, which is something that I anticipate. I'd like to see a lot more variety in PvP, and this looks like a step in the right direction as well. Next up are the bane of everyone's existence in PvP, shotguns. Shotguns can expect a reduction in precision damage multipliers by 10%, and a reduction in damage against AI combatants by about 10%. Bungie will also address the problem of long-range shotguns in PvP by not nerfing the base stats of shotguns, but rather by nerfing the 2 most exploited perks on shotguns. A shot package can expect a reduction in accuracy by about 30%, and rangefinder's bonus of range can be expected to be reduced from 20% to about 5%. Ow. I kind of hate to say it, but it had to be done. Ever since the introduction of the Felwinter's Lie, long-range shotguns have kind of been out of control in PvP. Bungie tried to mitigate this by introducing more long-range shotguns to kind of even the playing field, but all it did was just make the situation worse, and now something dramatic has to be done by nerfing these 2 perks. I will congratulate Bungie, however, on just looking at the perks and not the base stats altogether, so other shotguns like Invective remain mostly unchanged, so at least I can appreciate them doing that. On the bright side, the Lord of Wolves shotgun that was introduced in House of Wolves can expect to have its recovery bonus ability increased by triple fold. So yeah, big ups to Bungie for that. Bungie will also be rebalancing fusion rifles, but not exactly in a way that makes them more attractive to use. The slow-charging high-impact fusion rifles will have a decreased range, and the projectile speed for these fusion rifles will be reduced. Also, we can expect an improved accuracy for short-range fusion rifles, while at the same time expecting reduced accuracy for long-range fusion rifles. I can't say that this will exactly improve fusion rifle presence in PvP, but with long-range shotguns getting muzzled, it could see an increase in usage. These changes, however, don't exactly make me want to go out and use a fusion rifle in PvP. They don't exactly seem impressive anything. They've made the weapons a little harder to use, but only time will tell if these changes work. Bungie will also be addressing the problem of final round snipers in PvP by changing the final round perk on those sniper rifles so that they only proc when you land precision hits. So yeah, all you jerks out there who like exploiting this in PvP can take your final round sniper rifles and go fornicate yourself with them. On a sadder note, however, they will be nerfing the Icebreaker, so now it only recharges one shot every 8 seconds as opposed to every 5. Also, the legendary Black Hammer sniper rifle will be altered so you can hold 18 rounds, but the White Nail perk now pulls ammo from your reserve instead of simply just, I don't know, spawning them from the ether or whatever the hell it's doing right now at the moment. The infamous No Land Beyond, however, will be receiving a few buffs. For starters, they will be increasing the handling speed for faster time to aim, ready, and stow. They will also adjust the sights to fix overlap issues. They will increase the time delay for the Master perk to 8 seconds, while granting an additional 20% bonus precision damage while Master is active. So yeah, pretty much anything they can do to improve this weapon is welcome. So yeah, thank you to Bungie for doing this. Bungie will also be altering rocket launchers to increase the size of their blast radius while at the same time mitigating how effective grenades and horseshoes works by reducing the proximity they need to be to enemies in order to detonate. This sadly brings me to the most depressing news of all. It's official. Bungie is nerfing the Jaller horn.
No! God! No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's take a moment to talk about Jaller horn here. Jaller horn is basically the easy kill gun. It's the weapon you use when you're at a part in PvE and your mentality is, you know what, I really don't feel like doing this part, so let me just pull out my rocket launcher that does stupid damage and just go through this really quickly. If you are playing with solar burn on, then you can pretty much just decimate anything without even really having to try. So yeah, I understand why Bungie is doing it. They don't want to have this weapon to completely rob the game of challenge, and having more than one person in your party with one of these can just basically turn things like Nightfalls into an absolute snooze. So yeah, I still hope that they don't nerf them too hard because they're kind of vague on how much damage they're going to reduce them by. For as hard as people had to work to get this weapon, it shouldn't be by too dramatically much. All I can say is that if this is what it takes to get Zor to finally sell this weapon, then so be it. And that just about does it for this video. It took a lot longer to make than I anticipated, but there is a lot of information here. And I wanted to go ahead and get this out for you and get my thoughts and opinions on it real quick. And I want to hear your thoughts and opinions too. What do you think about the changes that are being made to weapon balancing in Destiny 2.0? I really do want to hear your opinions. Leave a comment in the comment section with what you think about all of this. Also, if you liked the video or you found any of it helpful, then spank that like button. I really appreciate your support. I'm going to go ahead and leave you with a little bit of Crucible gameplay here, and I will see you in the next video.
Heavy ammo inbound. Heavy ammo available. Zone C lost. Zone A neutralized. Enemy captured Zone A. Zone C captured. Zone C lost. Enemy captured Zone C. Heavy ammo on the way. Zone A neutralized. Zone A secure. Heavy ammo available. Minutes remaining. Zone B lost. Victory imminent. Zone B secure. Good work, Guardian. Your light is strong.